Trick. Don't cut up onions before you try and film. Your eyes will be like, I hate you. Hello everyone, today I'm bringing you my top popular YA books which I haven't read. I actually was gonna just do 5, but there are so many that I haven't read that I was like, I'd need to put this into so many different videos, and so I'm just gonna put it as one, and then I can get on with my life. I'm not gonna give too much of an intro to this video or else it is gonna be crazy long, but basically these are a bunch of books which I have not read, which seems as though everyone else has read in the YA reading community. For those who don't know, YA stands for Young Adult, and these are all fantasy because these are the YA adult fantasy that I haven't read. If I didn't mention that, well, now I have. I'll try to give really quick little intros to all of these, but because there's quite a few, I'm just going to, keep rolling. But the first one is the 2 series which mostly is just this author that I haven't read, and everyone keeps on bantering on about them and I haven't read them, and that is the Throne of Glass series and the Court of Thorns and Roses series, is that what it's called? By, what's her name? Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read either of these 2 series. Throne of Glass series, of course, starting with Throne of Glass and then on and on and on and on, and I haven't read any of them. Basically, this story is about an assassin, as far as I know. In backstory of Throne of Glass, I kind of picked it up a little bit, and I kind of read the first part and it was like, oh, this is so terrible, and I put it down, and I know I need to keep reading, but I haven't. And then the Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy is, I think, about, the Fae Court and a chick going to the Fae Court, and as far as I know, the first book is a kind of loose retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but apart from that, that's all I know. The second book I actually have a copy of, and that is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I haven't picked this up. It was recommended to me by a Dimmicks lady in Dimmicks. Okay, I'll admit I started 3 pages of it and I hated it, and so I put it down and I haven't picked it up again. And it feels like it's going to be another soppy one, but basically it's a princess who's meant to marry a prince, but then on her wedding night runs away because she's like, I don't want to do that, and goes to a small town to try and live the dull life, and then they send in the prince that she was meant to marry and an assassin after her, and apparently you don't know which is which. To me it sounded really sappy, and I was like, I don't want a sappy story, and so I put it down, and I haven't picked it back up again. The next is again 2 separate series by the same author, and that is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard and Trials of Apollo. I kind of started Trials of Apollo before I was then told that I should read all the Percy Jackson first, which Percy Jackson is technically middle grade, so I haven't counted it in this list, but it seemed as though Goodreads seemed to say these 2 were more YA. I don't know whether that's true. Either way, I have not read either of these 2 series, mostly because I need to have apparently read Percy Jackson first. Basically, most of these all follow different parts of, I think they're the Greek gods, maybe they're the Roman gods. Anyway, and basically, mostly illegitimate children of gods that have kind of seeded offspring everywhere, and then those offspring going, oh crap, we're in trouble because we're kind of half demigods and everybody hates us. But as far as I know, they're incredibly funny and really well written, and I really want to read some of Rick Riordan's stuff, but I haven't. The next trilogy is by Laini Taylor, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Now, this series, as far as I know, again, I ran away from it on sappiness, but in reading Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, I'm like, oh, maybe I should pick this up, but people will say that Strange the Dreamer is better than Daughter of Smoke and Bone, so I kind of don't want to move backwards through her work in case I'm like, oh, I hate you now, but I know I really should pick this up because people say it's really good, and Patrick Rothfuss says it's really good, and I really like Patrick Rothfuss, and shut up, I'm not trying to read what he's read of anything. Basically, this story is, I think, about a child who's the offspring of an angel and a demon, I think. The next series, which I don't actually know how many is in this series, Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson, in the Fire and Thorns series, I think. This is about younger of 2 princesses who seems to be less good at doing everything else than her sister, but in kind of a turn of events, she is secretly married to this handsome king who seems to his country is under siege or something terrible happened. I don't know. I tried not to read too much into it. People seem to say that despite this one's popularity, it actually is really, really good, so I didn't read too much of the synopsis because I don't like to give stuff away too much, which is why I'm actually not saying much about most of these, because if they're really good, I don't really want to know much about them. But yeah. Next one on the list is one I did kind of start and then did not continue, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, this trilogy by Ransom Rigg. Ransom? Oh, I don't remember his name, oh dear. This is about a boy chasing a story which his grandfather told him about this orphanage of children that would seem to be taken care of. And then the last series, which is very prevalent to me at the minute because I'm reading another series by this author that people always say you should read her first series first, which is the Grusha trilogy, first book being Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm currently reading Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and people kind of say that you should read the Grusha trilogy first because then you know more about the Grushaverse or whatever. But I didn't have time for that. I just wanted to read Six of Crows because people say it's better, and I only have time for the good stuff. So, absolutely no idea what this is about, but I assume it's about this weird power of Grusha, which I don't really know what that does yet because I've only just started Six of Crows, but whatever. My camera has just moved. I'm planning on making this into a series where I do popular adult fantasy I haven't read, popular non-fiction that I haven't read. I'd like to do a whole series of these, and popular series that I don't plan to finish. Anyway, those are all of my kind of popular YA books which I have not read yet, and I should get to reading, but I haven't. You can just leave me a short snarky in the comments of which one you think I should read out of these. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Oh my gosh, I really am gonna be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I will not take that kind of lip from you! This fellow here wrote this series. It's probably terrible. You'll have to read them to find out.